Good morning, everyone. Hope you're having a great morning. I'm not going to say happy Monday because there ain't nothing happy about Monday. Maybe it's Labor Day and Memorial Day, but those are far away from us, and so there's really nothing happy about Monday. Anyway, we are doing our Week 12 review, go over things that happened these last couple days. Crazy things did happen again this weekend. Crazy things almost happened. Some teams came up short. But anyway, we'll go over all that. We got some news items to go over. So before we get started, hit that subscribe button down there, wherever it is, so you don't miss anything. Let's get to it. Baylor. They say Dave Aranda will return next season. They have been improving. They won this past weekend. Got bowl eligible. I think they won this past weekend. We'll figure it out here in a minute. So he's coming back. North Texas, they fired their defensive coordinator, Matt Capone. I think that's how you say his last name, Capone. Anyway, no longer defensive coordinator at North Texas. At the same time, Wisconsin, they fired their offensive coordinator, Phil Longo, after 2 years. Luke Fickell actually wanted this guy for the last several years, but he'd been at Ole Miss and a couple other places, and he wanted it. All going back to when he was at Cincinnati. Now, this morning, I was listening to Full Ride on Sirius this morning, and Neuheisel and Childers were talking to, I think it was Rittenhouse from ESPN. Anyway, he was talking to Big Ten coaches last night, and none of them thought this whole scheme that Luke Fickell was fixing up at Wisconsin against the air raid was going to work. So they were all like, okay, well, it's probably not going to work. And sure enough, they were right. Didn't work very well. Did almost beat Oregon Saturday night, though. That was pretty impressive. Defense really kept them in that game because the offense really didn't do much. But anyway, Phil Longo gone from Wisconsin after 2 years. Temple, they beat Florida Atlantic on Saturday. Sunday, they fired head coach Stan Drayton. It's like, hey, thanks for getting us the win. By the way, you're done. He went 9-25 in 3 seasons there at Temple. Temple's a hard place to win at. I know Al Golden had some pretty good years there. Who else was it that? Was it Matt Rule? They had some good seasons at Temple. I forget, but anyway, yeah, it's a hard place to win at anyway. So, anyway. Remember how we used to say that last year or so, Auburn football is a dumpster fire? Looks like LSU might be taking the place of Auburn. They are losing it. At the Florida game, which they lost, Brian Kelly was seen yelling at wide receiver Chris Hilton Jr. on the sideline. Later in the game, wideout star Kyron Lacey was yelling back at Brian Kelly about something. So they've lost 3 in a row now. That's just, like I said, that place is turning into a dumpster fire fast. Brian Kelly's going to need to do something. Probably going to start with the assistant coaches first before the university finally gets rid of him. But better do something fast. That's all I know. Okay, so let's go back a little bit. Friday, UTSA beat North Texas 48-27. North Texas fires their DC that night. Both are 5-5. Colorado State, they are 7-3. Beat Wyoming 24-10. Colorado State is unbeaten in Mountain West Conference. Washington, they went 6-5, beat UCLA 31-19. Will Rogers benched in the second half in this game. Just wasn't having a good game, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. Arizona. Look at Arizona. Getting back to their winning ways. Came here and beat Houston 27-3. Both of them are 5-6. Crazy. Houston was on a kind of going up, man. They started the season terrible. Started getting better. Beat Kansas State a couple weeks ago. Then Arizona comes, who's not a good team this year, and beats them. Hard to figure out. Basketball, number 23, Texas A&M beat number 21, Ohio State 78-64. Wisconsin went 4-0, beat number 9, Arizona 103-88. John Tonje for Wisconsin, 41 points. Hell of a game for him. All right, so moving on to Saturday, Liberty, they're 7-2, beat UMass 35-34. I watched Tulane Navy. I really thought this was going to be a good game. No. Started off good. Navy was competitive, but then their quarterback Blake Horvath knocked out in the God, like within the first few minutes of the game. It was sometime in the first quarter. But he went out with a rib injury. Like I said, Tulane won 35-0. Quarterback Darren Mensah for Tulane, 138 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Also ran for 14 yards and a touchdown. Running back Mahik Hughes, 82 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. Tulane defense held Navy to 8 first downs, 1 for 11 on third down, 113 total yards, forced 2 turnovers. That win puts Tulane in the AAC championship game for the 3rd straight year. They will play Army in early December. I don't know what's going to happen with Navy now. If Horvath, if he can't come back. Clemson, man, 8-2 now. Battle Pitt, who's 7-3, won 24-20 in the last couple minutes. Kay Klubnik, 288 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Ran for that 50-yard touchdown there in the closing minutes to with 1:16 left, actually, to seal the win for them. Pitt quarterback Eli Holston out due to injury. Backup Nate Yarnell threw for 350 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. He was sacked 8 times, though, by Clemson's defense. Pitt had the ball for 10 more minutes, but had 2 turnovers in this game and 100 yards in penalty. Pitt started off great. Now they're starting to fade as the season goes on. Almost Arkansas. Almost did it. Lose to Texas by 10. Quinn Ewers, 176 yards, 2 touchdowns, both to Matthew Golden. Teams were pretty close in the post-game stats, though. Arkansas did turn the ball over twice. Texas defense had 6 sacks in this game. Just proving, man, even though Arkansas is not that good, big teams go there and they have trouble sometimes. 4-6 La Tech beat 7-3 Western Kentucky, 12-7 in the baseball game there. Colorado 8-2 beat Utah 49-24. Shedeur Sanders 340 yards, 3 touchdowns. Draylen Miller 108 receiving yards and a touchdown. LoJontay Webster 76-yard punt return for a touchdown. Colorado defense, 4 sacks, forced 4 turnovers. A lot of people are saying now Travis Hunter has pretty much sealed up the Heisman Trophy. I say it's not over till it's over because you never know, so we'll see. Ohio State 9-1 now, beat Northwestern 31-7 at Wrigley Field. Will Howard 2 touchdown passes to Cornell Tate. Judkins had 2 rushing touchdowns. Red Zone Buckeyes 4 for 4. Northwestern 1 for 4. Why did I get these stupid messages on my pad? So somebody wants to meet you. Well, you know what? I don't feel like freaking meeting them, so quick let me know about it. UL Monroe, man, they started off great. Now they're 5-5. Lost to Auburn 48-14. Auburn's now 4-6. Remember, UL Monroe beat James Madison back in, September? They were looking good. Man, they've just fallen off lately. Marshall 7-3 beat Coastal Carolina, who's 5-5. Crazy Coastal Carolina's 5-5. Anyway, Marshall beat them 31-19. Braylon Baxton for Marshall, 219 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. Jacoby Henderson, 65-yard blocked the field goal, ran back 65 yards for a touchdown. Pretty impressive. Coastal Carolina cuffed the ball up 3 times. Kentucky, they're 4-6, beat Murray State 48-6. Alabama 8-2, beat 9-2 Mercer 52-7. Mercer's a good team. They've got one of the best defenses in FCS. I didn't think they could pull the upset, but I thought they'd make it more competitive than just scoring 7 points. But oh well. Milroe 186 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, ran for a touchdown. Bama defense, they held Mercer to 1 for 9 on third down. 3 turnovers. They only had 1 sack, though, so that's kind of weird for them. Jacksonville State, they are 7-3, beat Florida International 34-31. Trey Stewart for Jackson State ran for 136 and 2 touchdowns, including a 56-yard touchdown run in the 4th quarter. Illinois, they're 7-3 now, beat Michigan State, who's 4-6. 38-16. Luke Altmaier, 231 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Josh McCree, 3 rushing touchdowns for the Illini. Pat Bryant, 135 receiving yards and a touchdown. Michigan State, 53 more yards and penalties than Illinois. Sam Houston, they're 8-2, beat Kennesaw State 23-17 in overtime. Syracuse, who's 7-3, beat Cal 5-5, who's 5-5. They beat them 33-25. Get this, all of Cal's losses. Remember how they started off good in that Miami game? They kind of did something to them mentally. All their losses are by 8 points or less. So I mean that team is there. They just can't seem to finish. Kind of like New Mexico. Florida, they're 5-5 now. Beat LSU, who's 6-4, 27-16. Get this. LSU had the ball for 41 minutes, 43 seconds in this game. Florida had it for 18 minutes, 11 seconds. If you have the ball that time of possession and you still lose, then you got a serious problem in the coaching area. I mean, players, yeah, you can blame all them too. But it might be time for your HC and your DC, or your OC and DC to both go, maybe even HC. I mean, there's just really no excuse to having the ball for 41 minutes in the game and you still losing. Yeah, remember, like I said, dumpster fire there at LSU right now. Notre Dame, I actually started watching this game, but I'll be honest with you, I got bored with it. It was like 7-0 for the longest time. Anyway, Notre Dame's 9-1. Beat Virginia 35-14. Virginia's 5-5 now. Riley Leonard, 214 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. Jeremiah Love, 137 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. Notre Dame defense forced 5 turnovers. South Florida, they need one more win for bowl eligibility. They beat Charlotte 59-24. Get this. South Florida had 425 rushing yards in this game. 6 rushing touchdowns. Hell of a running game for them that day. SMU got a little bit of a scare, but they still moved to 9-1. Beat Boston College 38-28. Boston College played really good in this game. I watched that one. They just wouldn't go away. SMU quarterback Kevin Jennings, 298 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. 3-7 Stanford. Man. Upset 6-4 Louisville, 38-35. A Louisville player was hit with an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty in the final seconds that put Stanford in the field goal range. So he kicks a 52-yard winning field goal to win that game, all because some dumbass on Louisville's team decides to do an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, move Stanford up. It was crazy. You know, he's probably running bleachers this whole weekend. Emmett Kinney. He was the one that kicked the 52-yard field goal to win it for Stanford. Poor Purdue, man. I just feel bad for them. Penn State just all over them, 49-10. Drew Aller, 247 yards, 3 touchdowns. 3-7 Troy beat 6-4 Georgia Southern, 28-20. Troy quarterback Matthew Caldwell, 288 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Also ran for 2 touchdowns in that game. James Madison, 8-2. Ironically, one of those losses was to UL Monroe, who we just talked about, whose season's kind of tanking. Anyway, they beat Old Dominion 35-32. Alonzo Barnett for James Madison, 192 passing yards, touchdown. Also ran for 2 touchdowns in that game. Baylor, 6-4, beat West Virginia 49-35. Sawyer Robertson, 329 passing yards, 3 touchdowns for the Bears. Bryson Washington, 123 rushing yards, 3 rushing touchdowns for Baylor. Baylor Bowl eligible, and they said Dave Aranda's coming back. There are some referees, officials, not just college sports, but every sport that need to hang it up. Perfect example in the USC-Nebraska game. USC won 28-20. Both of them were 5-5. But official, I didn't see the whole game. I just saw the end of it. Horrible. Nebraska player being held, almost like being stretched Armstrong by almost two guys. Misses the pass, of course, because of that, and they don't call it. It's like, did you not see that? I mean, I don't know if we need to start reviewing penalties now or what, but if not, then there's a lot of officials across America just need to call it quits. I mean, they really do. It's gotten really horrible the last several years. Anyway, USC, they benched Miller Moss. Jordan Mayavar, is that how you say his name? Mavar comes in. He starts that game, throws 259, 3 touchdowns, and runs for a touchdown. Kind of wonder what would happen if they would have started him at the beginning of the year. South Carolina beats Missouri 34-30. Both are 7-3 now. South Carolina quarterback Lenore Sellers, 353 passing yards, 5 touchdowns. Hell of a game for him. Their defense held Missouri to 1 for 9 on third down. There were actually 4 lead changes in the fourth quarter in this game, going back and forth. Gamecocks. This is the time. Since 2012. They haven't won 4 straight SEC games since 2012. So hell of a time for them. Just makes you wonder what happened if they wouldn't have shot themselves in the foot in those losses they had. Arkansas State 6-4 beat Georgia State 27-20. Rutgers 6-4 beat Maryland 31-17. Rutgers Atheem Kalaligmanis, I think I got it, 238 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Kyle Mongoy, 2 rushing touchdowns. Demir Miller, 107 receiving yards and a touchdown in that one. Arizona State went to 8-2, beat Kansas State 7-3, 24-14. Can't you tell it's Monday? Arizona State Sam Levitt, 275 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 of them to Jordan Tyson, who had 176 receiving yards. Scotty only 73 yards rushing. I think I read somewhere he was playing hurt anyway. Kansas State, 3 turnovers and failed snaps on 2 field goal attempts. It is what it is. 5-5 South Alabama beat 8-2 Louisiana 24-22. South Alabama, they blocked Louisiana's 2-point conversion to win that game. Texas State 6-4 beat Southern Miss 58-3. Jordan McLeod for Texas State, 333 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. They scored on 9 out of 11 possessions. Nice. 703 yards of total offense for Texas State. Boise State 9-1 beat San Jose State 6-4, 42-21. Ashton Jeanty, 159 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, set a school rushing record for the single season, 1,893 yards. Madu Madsen, 286 passing yards, touchdown, also ran for a touchdown. Davion Banks, 30-yard pick 6 for the Broncos. Walter Eggett, good game for San Jose State, 446 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. Did throw 2 picks, but still, he still had a hell of a game. But their rushing game, man, I don't know what's going on there. San Jose State only 37 rushing yards. Georgia 8-2 beat Tennessee 31-17. Good game in the first half, tied at 17 at halftime. Second half came, Georgia just shut them out 14-0. Beck 347 passing yards, 2 touchdowns to Oscar Delp. Nico Lamaleva for Tennessee, 167 passing yards, 0 touchdowns. The guy's only a freshman, but I'm pretty impressed with how he's played as a freshman. Can't wait to see how he goes, what goes on next year there with him, if he stays. Dylan Sampson, 101 rushing yards and a touchdown. Georgia defense had 5 sacks. Linebacker Jalon Walker, 4 tackles, 2 sacks. Linebacker Chaz Chambliss, 3 tackles, 2 sacks. Tennessee was better on 3rd and 4th down in this one. Georgia still prevailed, though. 8th straight win over Tennessee for the Bulldogs. Oregon escapes Wisconsin. I had the Georgia-Tennessee game on TV and the Oregon-Wisconsin game on the iPad. Oregon barely gets out of there, 16-13. Very defensive game. Very, very good Wisconsin defense in this one. They were actually winning, though, 13-6, heading into the fourth quarter when the Ducks scored 10 unanswered points. Dylan Gabriel, 218 passing yards, 0 touchdown, did throw an interception. Jordan James, 121 rushing yards and a touchdown. Oregon linebackers Travisti and Bobetcher, 6 tackles apiece in this one. Bossa, he had 5 tackles. Wisconsin defense, safety Waller, 11 tackles in this game. Wow. Linebacker Allegro, 8 tackles in this one. Defensive back for Corian, 7 tackles. Probably not saying these guys' names right, but they had hell of a games. Wisconsin, 1 for 12 on third down. Remember how we just talked Wisconsin fired their OC? Could be why. Oregon was 5 for 15 on third down. Wisconsin, 226 total yards. See what they can do now. They got rid of Logan. Is that his name? Texas A&M, 8-2, beat New Mexico State 38-3. Marcel Reed, 2 touchdown passes, ran for a touchdown. North Carolina, 6-4 now, beat Wake Forest 31-24. Power Eccles, like that name, Power Eccles from North Carolina, 42-yard pick 6. Iowa State, 8-2. They beat Cincinnati, who's 5-5 now, beat them 34-17. Rocco Beck for Iowa State, TD pass and a TD run. Memphis, they're 9-2, beat UAB 53-18. Seth Hennigan for Memphis, 299 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 of them to Anthony Lamphere. Mario Anderson, 138 rushing yards and a touchdown. A.J. Watts had an interception. Actually ran for 79 yards before somebody tackled him. So, he's pissed about that. He wanted a big-ass pick 6, but they caught him after 79 yards. Good quarterback battle. 5-6 New Mexico beats 8-2 Washington State, 38-35. New Mexico's Devon Dampier, 174 passing yards and a touchdown, but he ran for 193 and 3 touchdowns. Hey, John Mateer from Washington State, 375 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, ran for a touchdown. Quarterback battle in that one. Kyle Williams, 181 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns. New Mexico's first victory over a ranked team since 2003. New Mexico's a good team. Like I said, several weeks back, they just don't know how to finish games. They're there at the end. They just couldn't finish them. Looks like they've got things turned around. Hey, you only need one more win to become bowl eligible. So they can build on that for next year. Kansas, man, they show up for a second straight week. Ends BYU's unbeaten season, winning 17-13. Jalen Daniels, 168 passing yards. Devin Neal ran for 2 touchdowns. It wasn't really so much about Kansas' offense as it was their defense. Boy, their defense played lights out. BYU quarterback Jake Ratzlaff, 192 passing yards, touchdown through an interception. Rapati had a 30-yard touchdown catch. Red zone, Kansas 3 for 3, BYU 2 for 4. Who the hell? I thought Kansas got a big game coming up this week. I was wondering, can they show up for 3 straight weeks? UNLV's 8-2, beat San Diego State 41-20. Hajj Malik Williams for UNLV, 241 passing yards, touchdown, ran for 2 touchdowns. Danny O'Neal for San Diego State, 162 passing yards, touchdown, 2 interceptions, also ran for a touchdown. San Diego State actually had the ball for 10 minutes longer in this game. Only 14 first downs and 3 for 12 on third down, 270 total yards. They had 20 less plays, 2 turnovers, and 98 yards of penalties. So you can see why UNLV won. FCS had some games. Friday, North Carolina Central 7-3. They beat Howard 26-3. Yale 6-3. They beat Princeton 42-28. That's actually tied at 21 at halftime. Duquesne is 8-2. Beat Wagner 42-21. Duquesne's quarterback Darius Parentis, 6 touchdown passes in that game. 5-6 Monmouth beat 8-3 Villanova 40-33. Let's see. Flip the page. Richmond, they're 9-2. They beat Hampton by 3. That is Richmond's 9th straight win. Columbia 6-3. They beat Brown 21-12. Caleb Sanchez for Columbia, 3 touchdown passes. 2 of them to Bryson Canty. Lehigh, they're 7-3. Beat Colgate 45-17. Harvard is 8-1. They beat Penn 31-28. Harvard's Dylan Fingerish field goals. Time expired to win that game. Morehead State, they're 7-4. Beat Drake 7-2. They beat Drake, who is 7-2, 29-20. Butler 9-2. Beat St. Thomas, Minnesota 36-20. Butler's Nick Howard, touchdown pass, also ran for 3 touchdowns. South Dakota 8-2. They beat North Dakota 42-36. Illinois State 8-3. Beat Indiana State 31-19. Illinois State's Rittenhouse, 319 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. Delaware's 9-1, beat Campbell 41-22. Nick Mancusi for Delaware, 4 touchdown passes, and he also ran for 2 touchdowns. 7-4 New Hampshire beat 8-3 Stony Brook, 31-30. New Hampshire's Seth Morgan, 2 touchdown passes, also ran for a touchdown. Rhode Island, they are 9-2. They beat Albany 20-17. Rhode Island's Wesley Neal blocked a field goal on the final play to win that one. William and Mary, they're 7-4. They beat Bryant 22-12. Corson Jenkins for William and Mary, punt return, 90 yards for a touchdown. 4-5 Cornell beat 7-2 Dartmouth, 39-22. Cornell's Jameson Wang, 2 touchdown passes, also ran for a touchdown. Tennessee State is 8-3, beat Gardner Webb 23-20. Southeast Missouri State, they are 9-2. They beat Western Illinois 54-45. Let's see. South Dakota State 9-2 beat Southern Illinois 41-10. Jackson State 9-2 beat Alabama State 16-10. Montana 8-3 beat Portland State 28-17. Logan Fife for Montana, 3 touchdown passes, also ran for a touchdown. Incarnate Word, they are 9-2, beat Stephen F. Austin 27-20. Incarnate Word clinches Southland Championship. I still remember back in August when I got my magazines, or maybe July, people were saying Lamar was going to win the Southland Conference. Lamar is just not a good team. So Incarnate Word, they win it. North Dakota State, they're 10-1, beat 8-3 Missouri State 59-21. Cam Miller for the Bison, 4 touchdown passes. South Carolina State 8-2, beat Morgan State 54-7. South Carolina State clinches the Mid-East Conference title. San Diego, they are 7-3. They beat Stetson 45-6. Grant Sargent for San Diego, 6 touchdown passes in that one. Abilene Christian beat Tarleton State 35-31. Both of them are 8-3 now. Abilene Christian wins the United Athletic Conference title. Montana State, they are 11-0, beat 9-2 UC Davis 30-28. Idaho is 8-3, beat Weber State 31-24. Jack Lane for Idaho threw 3 touchdown passes to Mark Hampner. And then basketball, Saturday and Sunday, no top 25 upsets. That is it. We will be back on Thursday or Friday to preview what's going to be happening this weekend. Now we got Ohio State and Indiana, Army and Notre Dame, a couple of big ones coming up. And I want to say, I have to look, BYU's playing Arizona State. Not sure on that one, but I have to look at it. But if it is, boy, it's going to be a monster weekend. Anyway, it's Monday. Monday sucks, especially when it's raining like it is down here. Stay busy. Before you know it, the weekend will be back. Stay safe. We'll see you next time.